Let's get started. Take your feet, place them a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Ball right down in front of the thighs. Just squeeze the ends of the ball and notice how that activates everything up and down the front side, holding that intention throughout this entire workout. Go ahead and reach the ball up overhead, thinking about pulling the shoulders down away from the ears and come back down. Let's try that one more time. Reach up. Now slide it down the front side of the body. We're gonna tuck our chin in, round, and then reach the ball to the front as the tail comes up. Now hold this position. This would be considered unsupported forward flexion, but because you're gonna use the ball and pressure in, you notice how the core helps hold the spine here during the abdominal stretch. Tuck chin in, round all the way back up, ball overhead. Good, still keeping gentle pressure on the ball. Let's try that 3 more times. Down, tuck the chin, round out, and reach the ball long, tail long, tuck in and roll. Getting a little more range of motion, a little bit more fluidity to this, tuck and roll. Spinal articulation, great to begin a core workout. One more here, tuck and roll. Ball comes up overhead one more time. Step the feet out just a tad wider. Really reestablish dropping the shoulders into the back pockets and then bring the arms in front of the chest. Squeeze a little bit more. Good. And all we're gonna do is take the ball down to the corner and look with it. Hips, knees, and ankles stay forward. Notice how the spine begins to rotate. Come back forward. Other side. Using the pressure of the hands at the end of the ball to facilitate the twist. And come up. Good, arms up. Get a little release, bring it back in. Squeeze, rotate. Center, other side. Let's do that 2 more times. Arm up for a little release. Bring it back forward, squeeze, drop. See if you can go a little bit further, but still maintaining hips, knees, ankles ahead. Other side. Here comes the last one. One more release, and bring it back forward. So spinal mobility, incredibly important for the health and integrity of the spine, works right into the core. Come up and hold. We're gonna go into figure 8s now, dropping with a little bit more movement, but still trying to keep the knees, ankles, and hips forward. After you do a few of those, then we will start to move the torso, twist. Now the hip gets to move. Notice how much more range of motion you have that way. What about the foot lifting with it? So just rotating from side to side. Again, the pressure on the end of the ball helps maintain that core integrity to support the spine during movement. Training the body. 2 more here. And come back forward. Step the feet out even a little wider. We're gonna hinge at the hips. Turn the ball lengthwise. Reach to me, send the hips back, and if your knees need to bend to get the ball to the floor, feel free to do so. Hands get to rest on the ball for added support. So we're gonna stay here for a moment. I want you to think about the tail reaching and lifting, the kneecaps pressing to the back wall, and the head, the crown of the head reaching long. If that feels okay to you to remove one hand, I want it to slide out to the side, just shoulder height. Notice what happens in the opposite hamstring. Come down and switch. So the head alignment, you should be focusing right in front of the ball on the floor to keep the cervical spine in alignment. Trying it one more time each way. See if you can get a little bit more range of motion in the shoulder, slightly higher than the shoulder joint, and drop. Now if at any time you feel like you need to back out of the pose and rejoin me, feel free. You've got 2 more things to do in this position. This time the head and the torso are gonna go with you. The arm's gonna come all the way up, try to track the ceiling. You still have pressure on the ball, helping you to maintain your posture. Other side. Last one here. Knees are still pressing back, tailbone is still lifting, head is still reaching, eyes follow. So we're working into the cervical spine, getting a bit mobility higher up. And come forward. Turning the ball on in, we're gonna turn the toes out simultaneously and drop down. Call this the frog squat. So the heels down in the ground, stretching the Achilles tendon, stretching the inner thighs, and thinking about posture. Works into the core. If you've got flexible lower half with a strong spine, nothing's gonna hurt you. Hold here. Reach forward, toes can turn, using the ball to help alleviate pressure from the knees as we come into quadruped position. Remove the ball, place one hand down on the ground, and we're gonna go into thread the needle. So the hand that's free is gonna slide underneath. Use the pressure to lower yourself down slowly, accepting the pressure on the shoulder and the ball, but not on the head. And notice the stretch in the upper thoracic spine. Press through the ball to push back up into quadruped position, and then reach the arm long, spinal extension. Balance challenge of the therapy ball re-engages the shoulder girdle, helps you stay here, and release. Roll the ball to the other hand and set yourself up. It's important the shoulders are right on top of the wrists, the back is long, knees are right underneath the hips. Lower yourself down, hand sneaks through for thread the needle. And hold. Again, tail lifts up. Use the ball to keep the pressure off the neck, but accept a little of the pressure into the shoulder to create the upper shoulder stretch, back of the shoulder. Press down through the ball to come up and reach the arm long. We're gonna do that one more time on each side with an added challenge at the end. So roll the ball across. Thread the needle a little quicker this time. Tail reaches back, arm reaches long. See if you can get down just a little bit further. Push up, hand comes out. Now scoot the feet together, the knees together just a little bit, and let's see if we can extend the back leg and hold quadruped. Hand comes down, knee comes down, and roll the ball to the opposite hand. Thread the needle one more time, drop through. Pressure and come up. Hand, can it come right out without stopping? Opposite leg reaches long enough. You just want to put the toe on the ground instead of lifting it up. Totally fine. Inner rotation of the thigh, hip down towards the ground, and hold. Hand comes back down, foot comes back down, and we're gonna swing around to come seated. Ball is gonna be right at the base of your spine, and we're gonna come into what we call a spine stretch. So hands come behind the head, and we lift the tail off the ground as we roll forward, bringing the ball all the way up to the tip top of the shoulders and then push back. Small C curve in the belly, hips still high, roll forward. Feel the stretch along the spine and roll up. Let's do it one more time. Release as you roll forward. This is a balance challenge, core working overtime here, but also stretching the spine. And once you're back up at the base of your spine, drop the hips. Repositioning now. Ball's gonna go lengthwise at the tip top of your spine. We're going to T-spine stretch. So it starts at the mid-back, goes between the shoulder blades, lifting the hips up and hold. So a bridge position. Now if your head or your neck are feeling this, you can put the hands behind the head to support. But if it feels okay to you, I want the arms out, feet go a little wider, and you're gonna roll side to side. It's a slight shift. Just enough to activate the core a bit more and roll the ball across from shoulder blade to shoulder blade. Come back to the center, walk the feet in, drop the hips, hands down, walk the legs out, and then let the head rest. So the neck should be supported at the end of the ball. Chest opens up, let the shoulder blades drape across the ball. Feel opening of the chest, the shoulder, biceps if the thumbs are up, and relax. We're not done yet though. Tuck the chin in, hands go behind the head, knees bend, and roll up. If you'd rather put hands down to help feel free, added core challenge, we reach up. Bring the ball around, and we're gonna slide on top of the ball for a seated forward fold. So legs out, knees slightly bent, hands help to pressure you up and onto the ball, feet come forward. Let's sit in this alignment for just a moment, like staff pose from yoga. Toes pull back, head lifts up long, and for a balance challenge, reach the arms up. Hands come down, and we're gonna roll, almost like a pike. Ball slides down underneath the knees, toes can come to a point, hands come forward, and hold. Bend the knees, hands slide back towards the hips. Reach out long, toes come up, big stretch. Let's try it one more time. Hands come down, knees bend, toes point, roll forward. And through. Sit cross-legged, final stretch. Deep breath in, interlace the fingers, stretch as tall as you can, reach over to one side, slide the hand to the wrist, and pull. Now you can really use the opposite hip to pressure down through the ball to feel the stretch from fingertip to hip. Come up and switch sides. Back to seated. Let it go and congratulate yourself. You just finished an incredible flexibility and strength workout for your core. Enjoy the rest of your day.